I'm passionate about dogs, just not crazy about bitches.
Come on out, bold. I love bold. Oh, we got a love connection.
Let's take a look at David before. Come on out here, David. Let's see ya.
Welcome, RuPaul.
To the show. I'm so happy you all are here. Now, we are in the middle of a 3-week summer test run, so if you're watching at home, at the gym, or if you're just strutting down the street, thank you. And if you like what you see, please tell your friends, tweet about it at RuPaul Show. Now, speaking of strutting down the street, I saw y'all walking this runway earlier, and you look so good. You know, I think we got some real serious fashion models up in here. Gigi Hadid, you better watch your back, girl. And there is one guy we've invited here today who told us he's looking for a change. Where is David? David, come on over here. Come on, David. Yeah, put this over here. Watch your step now, come on. Hi, David. Here, sit down. Okay, now, David, you're looking for a change. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Look at all this gorgeous. Is this your real hair?
This is real.
Really? It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice. And you've got hair all over the place, don't you?
Rude.
Well, no, you've got the beard, you've got the long. How long have you been growing your hair out?
For about 6 years.
6
It
years?
went from like afro, and then it like hit critical mass and just kind of fell in on itself, and I just kind of let it keep going.
I started with an afro too, believe it or not.
It's a good look.
Yeah, well, you know, actually I won Best Afro in the 9th grade.
Oh.
I did. Those were the days. But it looks great. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Why do you want to change?
I've had it for a long time, and I don't think that it's me. But I've had it for so long, and I think that it kind of gets in my way a little bit. It gets in the way of my confidence, 'cause I think it's something that I'm kind of using as a prop or like a little bit of a mask.
Oh,
you know?
That's not good.
Yeah.
And you want more out of life.
Yes, and I think that I'm going to turn 30 next month.
A child. A child. You know, life begins at 40, actually. So you got 10 more years.
Thank God.
Yeah, it really does. It does. All right, so I tell you what. You're in the right place because I've got my glam group back there who are just happy to run their fingers through your hair and change. Look, you're beautiful. Those beautiful smile, great skin, and a great disposition. I think you're a winner. I think you're a winner, baby. So, are you scared?
Yeah, I haven't seen what's under here in a very long time.
Oh, dear.
I don't know what my chin looks like anymore.
Oh, my God. We might find Jimmy Hoffa. All right, so you're going to walk down that runway and open the door to the rest of your life. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, go on back there.
Okay, thank you, Ru.
Can't wait. Fantastic. You want to go on back there, doll.
Thank you.
Okay, now she's the queen of the Housewives franchise, but not everyone these days agrees she deserves the crown. But she rules her empire of television spin-offs, restaurants, clubs, and pups. Please welcome Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa Vanderpump. Oh my dear, look at you. We've got tea.
me?
Absolutely.
You're not doing this every day?
No, well, you know, we should do it every day.
You should do it.
So
Everybody should do it every day.
lovely. Now, we've taken, we've already poured the tea, but that's not done. You should wait for the person to pour it for you. Is that correct?
You can do whatever you want. When you look as fabulous as this, whatever you do, I'm okay with. I have to tell you that this is Puffy.
Puffy.
And Puffy does have terrible gas. So before you blame it on me.
Yes.
Exactly. If anything happens over here, you know that's not me. Or it could be Ross.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Lisa,
I'm
I lost my sense of smell at a disco sometime in the 80s.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So, you know, it's all good for me.
Oh, the 80s.
So now,
I lost a lot of things in the 80s.
Oh,
Let's
did
be
you?
clear about that.
A lot of things that we needn't even try to find again.
Well, I have a child to prove of one thing that I kind of lost in the 80s. I think it was in Ibiza.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So how you going?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Yeah. Now, Puffy there, is Puffy a boy or a girl?
Well, Puffy's a metrosexual boy. I mean, he's a boy that's very comfortable in his own skin.
I love that.
He wears clothes, and he always wears pink because I love pink. But he wears clothes because he's got chronic alopecia.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Oh, no. I know you love dogs.
Worship them.
Yeah. Now, before we go into your worship of dogs, let's talk about some other bitches.
Oh, okay. How did I know you were going? Do you remember that tagline? I'm passionate about dogs, just not crazy about bitches. Oh my God. When I said that, Bravo said, no, you can't say that. But now I think they'll probably say you're allowed to say that.
I think so. You know, I don't want to ask about the typical things about who said what or anything like that. I grew up in a house.
They said all of it. I said nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
I grew up in a house with all women. I've lived my life around women, and there is an inherent undercurrent of viciousness that some women have. Now, on the surface, it's, hey, girl, ooh, you look so good. Let's have lunch. Ooh, I love your nails. But there's an undercurrent of divisiveness. Where does that come from, in your opinion?
I absolutely detest it. I think you should just focus on yourself and being the best that you can be.
Yeah.
You know, I don't...
Yeah.
I never, ever think like that. Of course, the show is based on fun and a few snarky things, but when it gets really vicious and trying to kind of pull each other down, I just don't support that at all.
Yeah.
I think, you know, in this day and age, with the whole kind of bullying and the Me Too movement, I think we're moving towards a kinder environment. I hope so, you know?
Well, what does it take? I mean, when did you realize that it was important for you to, A, stay out of it, but how do you resist it?
Oh, it's not difficult for me to resist it. I'm not going to roll down in the dirt with that. I'm just not going to do it. That's not the way I live my life. It's not the way I've raised my children. And it's not something that, you know, it's not an example I want to set. Never.
Yeah. But, you know, you recognize it's there. But it's not just there with housewives. It's there with...
It's there all over the world, let's be honest.
And in the Me Too movement and what the changes that are happening, how can we change it? How do we change it? How would we change it in our daughters, and where does it come from?
Well, I think the first step is basically giving people the confidence to actually, you know, speak up and know that they can say, hey, that's not okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the first most important thing. But you know what? I don't want to take away the fun in life as well. I was brought up in Europe where, you know, everything was a little flirty. I mean, in France, it was just like, you know, it was just, well, like, you know, it was pretty risque.
Well, that's a good point because, you know, a lot of times people say a lot of things, but if you can judge the intent behind what a person says, then you're out of the woods.
Yeah, or if they're holding something over you, like, you know, your job, for example.
Right.
But I'm talking about playful flirting. Please don't stop that.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about the 80s, I think life was much simpler then.
Yeah.
But I do think it is a time for us to progress, and I think there's a few people that have been held up for an example, a very poor example, and they should be punished for it. They really should. So, yeah, moving forward.
Yeah. And you employ a lot of people. Do you have sexual conduct meetings before you hire someone? Because, you know, actually...
have you seen my show? Well, of course you have, you know, the sexual harassment handbooks, everything which you say, you know, this is the way you should behave, read this, and, you know, then they go off and do their own thing. I think, you know, when you see people kind of really intimidating others, and, you know, I've worked closely with the Trevor Project.
Yes.
And you see youngsters, especially LGBTQ, 3 or 4 more times likely to commit suicide. I think it's very important that we stand up, and also with our children.
Yeah.
You know, because...
You've got 2 kids.
Yes, yes, I have. And
Do you like them? Do you like your kids?
You know what? I got shingles when Max left home.
Really?
I really did. I mean, because Pandora had left, you know. But now I think I would have shingles if he came back. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Because I do come for dinner and I wish you're gone.
Yeah.
I'm very close to both of them. Max has told his story of being adopted on television, you know, on Housewives, and his journey. And I'm just very fortunate to have a great relationship with them, and I value that tremendously, especially the mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
And for some reason, I think it's 50-50. I really lucked out with her. She's got to be one of the smartest people I know, and I'm very, very proud of her. And with Max, he kind of works differently. He's very creative, he's very tactile, he's very loving. So they don't all have to be the same, you know, but just love them unequivocally. And, you know, I work with a lot of kids that have come to us and they've, you know, struggled or maybe been thrown out the house because of their sexual orientation. And my message to parents is, love your children unequivocally. There's nothing you can do that's going to change that.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose them.
Yeah,
you know?
it's true. Yeah. And
I love you and everything that you stand up for. It's so important. People like you lead the way. You're a trailblazer. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Well, you know, family life is so important. What was your upbringing like? I know you're from England, obviously, but
yes.
What was it like the traditional
I think
family?
so. I went to, you know, a lovely school, and I have my only sibling, my brother, who unfortunately died just within the last year. A year ago this week, actually, to suicide. So it was very, very difficult for me to deal with that, being my only sibling, because, you know, it was something that you're unprepared for, even though I'd worked closely with the suicide prevention. So it was just...
Did you know it was coming? Did you have any clue that it was coming?
I knew that he was troubled, but it was just very, very difficult to deal with. And I think suicide radiates so many emotions and what it leaves behind. And again, one of the missions or people I've been working with, it's about, please understand to everybody out there that this is a permanent solution to hopefully what could be a temporary problem. And sometimes people are so, you know, embedded in that kind of murky quagmire that is life. And we all go through this. You know, we all go through stuff where we think we can't cope. And I'm sure many of us sitting here today think that. But you can, if you just reach out, you know, then you can hopefully come through it. But for him, it was just a tragedy, and it was very, very difficult for us all to accept it.
What could you have said to him? Is there anything?
Oh God, you're going to make me cry. This is not going to be. I think we all have regret that that person, also with the time difference, being 8 hours ahead, and it was at night. Yeah, I think, you know, I think just to connect with somebody. I think when people, you know, I think it was a cry for help that went wrong because he took pills and he'd had a back surgery. He didn't have a drug problem, but it just went horribly wrong, and it was very, very difficult. But I'm also all about talking about what's happening in your life, because when you reach out to people, when you share your stories, people will benefit from your experience.
Absolutely.
And you can say how you work through it, or maybe how you could prevent something in the future. So yeah, reaching out and being the best you can be, and the best, you know, support to those around you.
Absolutely. And there's no shame in feeling the human feelings and reaching out to people and letting people know what's going on with you.
You know what you're saying is, I'm very English. I was brought up no therapy, no, you know, kind of pull yourself together, stiff upper lip, that kind of mentality.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. And I was very open saying that after this happened, I took antidepressants, and I've very rarely taken a pill in my life, but I thought, you know what? I need some help with this. And I went to grief counseling just a few times just to try and have a better understanding.
Absolutely.
So to people, you know, if you're going through something, it's okay.
Yes.
We're all going to go through something. You don't fall out of somebody's vagina, land on the floor, then end up in a box 90 years later without something in your life that's going to be challenging. So as soon as we compute that, you know, my kids are going to be so proud of me for saying that.
Yes, and so
falling out of somebody's vagina. Actually, she didn't fall out. She was pulled out. It sounded like I just coughed and she dropped on the floor. No,
How
that's
very
not
English of you.
I know.
Yes. People might be surprised to know that you say you lacked confidence growing up. Now, I want to hear how you turned it around, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
Became obnoxious?
Yes, exactly. More in a minute.
I would have shagged Brad Pitt when I met him.
He's a Chihuahua mix. He's about 5 years old.
If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Now, we were talking to you about confidence and the lack of confidence growing up, and it's such an important topic because, you know, we're having big conversations with young people about the instruction book. How did you find the instruction book to life?
Wow, gosh, I don't know that I have that yet. I might sign up for that.
Well,
Do you have
booze
it?
helps.
Oh, well, that too, yes. You know what, the instruction book to life, I think the shame, I talk a lot publicly and try to inspire young women. I think the shame of it is the youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old expression, but I sometimes think that, you know, your confidence comes with experience. Yeah. And I remember every year when it was my birthday party, I'd think, oh, I'd hate the cake coming and I'd hate having to stand up and make a speech. I so didn't want it to be about me. Now I love it. I'm like, bring that cake out. Let me talk until I put you to sleep, right?
When did that happen?
I think that if you can push yourself in little increments and always challenge the things that scare you. And, you know, like when I've done public speaking and I've spoken to people who said, who's really terrified to absolutely speak up publicly? And you'll see somebody like that. By the time you get them up and you sit them next to you and you have a conversation with them, you say, look, you have just spoken in front of hundreds or thousands of people. How do you feel? And I think that's what life is. It's like, take that little step. You don't have to dive in the deep end. Take that little step. That will bolster your confidence and build it from there.
Yeah, yeah. Now, speaking of youth, being wasted, I know that one of my favorite groups...
You're not going to bring up my youth,
well,
are you?
one of my favorite groups ever of all time is the group ABC.
Oh,
and
Lordy.
you're in
Have
the
you
video.
found that?
Well, I know the video very well. You are a video hoe.
Oh, yeah, well, that's one of the nicest things that anybody's ever said to me. I take that as a compliment, by the way.
Now, do you look back on that and think, oh, geez, why did I do that?
No, I love that. I very rarely regret things that I've done because I always think you can learn from things. And I love the fact that, I mean, it was made when there were very few videos around, really.
Yes.
So it's kind of a bit of an iconic video, so to speak. But it's also, I remember when I made that, it was the week I just met my husband, Ken. And so that's very synonymous with how I was feeling at the time. I mean, I met Ken, I was engaged, like 6 weeks later and married within 3 months.
Really?
So basically I did that video and I was taken off the market, and that was 36 years ago. That video was made 36 years ago. I met Ken through my brother.
And you were modeling and doing things around London because it was the Poison Arrow video for the group ABC.
Right, yes.
And you were modeling. What were you doing then?
I wasn't really modeling. I mean, I'm 5'5", so I was like knee-high to a grasshopper. They're all like 6 foot tall, you know. I was doing a lot of commercials, and I was pretty successful at doing that, and I had a lot of independence. As a young woman, I left home at 18 and bought my own place. I'd worked 2 jobs. I'm all about hard work. My kids, I made them start the restaurants washing dishes. If you spoil your kids, one thing will happen to them is they'll end up spoiled.
Yeah.
So
And where in London are you from?
I'm from South London, Dulwich. But then I met Ken at 21 and then lived in Kensington. And
Oh, because Ken had money.
not that much. I mean, he was 36. No, I mean, we bought our first place together.
Yeah.
He'd bought a house prior to that, but for his parents, he was very kind of supportive of his family. And then we bought our first place together.
Yeah.
And and that was it. Then we had Pandora 5 years later.
Yeah. It's amazing. You know, when you look back on your life and you think about the choices that you make.
Yes.
It's interesting. Would you do anything differently?
I would have shagged Brad Pitt when I met him. Right? No, right?
I think, honestly, when I think about the only regrets, I wish I had been more of a whore.
Yes,
in
I
my
know, right?
youth.
I married at 21. I didn't really get the chance to do that wild 80s stuff.
I mean, come on.
Let's go do it together.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, there's penicillin.
I know, right?
I mean, for the advice for young people. So, okay, so abroad, we've been talking a lot about just life experiences. A broad bit of advice for all young people out there listening is live your life. Don't be afraid of emotions.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to tell people what you're feeling.
Right.
Hard work.
Right. Don't be insecure about that feeling of like insecurity. Don't, you know, people, because everybody feels that.
Everybody feels it. Everyone is
they
pretending.
cover it.
Everyone is covering it up.
So everybody has that going on, and I think,
And I think if people knew that, they would actually get through this thing a lot easier is the wrong word, with a lot more navigational skills.
Yeah, just because you look at some of these people that you think have it all and have it going on, they really have their own insecurities, and realize that, you know, every photograph is photoshopped, every photograph. So don't put that pressure on yourself. And you know what? I loved that when I saw everybody coming out here.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I love the fact that everybody brought something different.
I love that. It's just a sort of an analogy for life, of walking your walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're going to go to break. We're going to have more Lisa Vanderpump in a minute, and we've got dogs coming up. We've got a dog
yeah.
We got a lot of stuff. So we'll be right back after this. Yes. All right, now, Lisa, everyone wants to know if you're coming back to the Housewives of Beverly Hills.
It was such a brutal season for me, and it was at a time where I was floundering. And everybody always says, oh, you look like you've got your life together. But I started that show this season like 2 or 3 months after my brother passed, and I just wasn't in the right space. And I actually did say, and we've talked about it with Andy on Watch What Happens Live, he says, I wish I'd given you the year off. I just wasn't as prepared, and I found that I couldn't deal with something that I could normally deal with. Yeah. And so then it just went on, and then it was accumulative. In the end, I just said, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. But it's been 9 years, it's been, you know, an incredible experience, and it's given me so much, so many wonderful opportunities. And, you know, speaking to the point of being able to start my own 501c3, the Vanderpump Dog Rescue.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, things like that,
Well, let's talk about that. Well, we still didn't get an answer, so I'm assuming we...
Because you're not going to get
Not going to get an answer.
I'm steering that ship.
Yeah. Now, we know that you love dogs, and you have this organization.
Yes.
It's like a rescue, but it's a kennel. Explain it to me.
Well, we try to reinvent the wheel. I think a lot of people feel when they go into rescue situations that it's going to be sad, or they don't know what they're going to see, and they can't take one because they want to take them all. And I understand that, because that's how I felt. But we created the Vanderpump Dog Rescue into this fabulous boutique. I mean, literally go in there and there's chandeliers and velvet sofas and music playing. And you're thinking, oh, I could spend time in here. That's the whole point. All the dogs are in little living rooms. They're all either owner surrender, abuse, pulled from the euthanasia facilities. You know, they've all literally been that far away. We have terrible stories as well of dogs that have been hit. You know, we've got 2 now that have been hit and are on the side of the road, and we have to kind of rehabilitate them, a lot of surgeries.
How many are in the facility now?
Oh, gosh, I'll have to ask John that, but we just this week rescued out over 1,000.
Oh, my goodness. Oh
But
my goodness.
When I say 1,000, when you meet these people that are going to be coming out with some of our rescues, it's not just finding their loving forever homes, it's doing the home checks, it's rehabilitating. You know, some of these little guys have really been abused or they've been neglected, and it's, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into that as well. But the whole point of the rescue was for people to come in to interact with them, for them not to be in cages. Yeah. And then we had a wonderful friend of the foundation that then financed this rooftop deck on the top, so they've got an agility park upstairs as well. Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Now, to talk dogs, I also invited another one of my dog-loving friends to add to our tea party. Welcome two-time U.S. Olympian and silver medalist in freestyle skiing, Gus Kenworthy.
A little bit of love goes a long, long way, lifting you up to a brighter day. A little bit of love goes a long, long way. Turn it around when you up and say, everybody say love.
Hello, baby. Good to see you. Gorgeous. Now, who's this Gus?
Is he from Korea or from Yulin?
She's from Korea. She was on a dog meat farm in South Korea.
Oh, thank you. Bless you. Bless you.
Yeah, we brought her back during the 2018 Olympics.
Oh my God, she's beautiful. Look at this coloring.
Oh,
Hi.
gorgeous.
Thank you.
How you doing?
She's a monochromatic queen.
She's a monochromatic queen. Have you always loved dogs?
I have, absolutely. My family had actually cats growing up because my mom lived in housing that couldn't have dogs.
Yeah.
But I got my first dog when I was 11. My dad took me to a shelter and I got to pick one out. And my first boyfriend and I rescued 5 dogs from the Olympics in Russia. They were living on the street. And yeah, thanks.
Really?
Yeah. And the Humane Society International played a big role in that. And then coming into the 2018 games, they were like, there's a huge dog meat trade. It's a really big issue that's going on in South Korea and in a lot of Asian countries, and we're doing a PSA about it because these farms are just a few miles from where you're going to be competing in the Olympics. Would you lend your voice? And so I said,
Oh,
of
that's
course
so
that
sweet.
I would.
And how do they let you take a dog out of the country and back into this country?
I mean, there's kind of a lot of red tape.
Yeah.
There's quarantine processes and whatnot, but the Humane Society International really dealt with a lot of that.
Had you two met one another before?
No,
but
I mean, I'm a huge fan.
didn't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, we tried to organize a lunch.
Yeah, we've set up a sanctuary now in China where we've got over 400
I know,
dogs.
it's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You're an icon.
Well, we're going to connect you, and we're going to do a lot more here, too. Now, we're going to go to break real quick, but when we come back, we're going to have something really special. You think you're going to do a third Olympics?
I do, yeah, I'm hoping to.
Oh,
Ooh,
my goodness.
Great. Good for you.
We'll be right back after this with my lovely guests.
Mickey was found in a dumpster.
Yeah.
But look at Mickey now.
Now, as we said earlier, Vanderpump dogs have found forever homes for over 1,000 dogs. Now, we know the work to save these animals never ends. So we told Lisa to bring some of Vanderpups on over here to strut their stuff down the runway and hopefully right into the hearts of our viewers out there. Now, all these dogs are available for rescue. Ross is going to tell us about these strays who are going to slay the runway. Take it away, Ross.
Okay. Ru, can we have dogs every day? I love this. All right. And reminder, like Ru said, all of these dogs are up for adoption. Are y'all ready for a doggy fashion show?
Yay!
Okay. Let's meet our first dog. Say hi to Pebbles. Oh. Your heart will go bam bam when you meet Pebbles. We think Pebbles is about 8 to 10 years old, but you know, a lady never reveals her age. She's a dachshund mix who was rescued from a high-kill shelter with her sister Socks, but Socks has already been adopted. Life can be rough, right? Pebbles needs a forever home right now. Thank you, Pebbles. Michelle, you like Pebbles? You like what she's wearing?
Pebbles!
All of the clothes is from Vanderpump too.
Everyone.
All right, up next, say hi to Grandma Lucy. Lucy is a sassy senior. She's 12 years old. She's a Bichon mix. She a fancy lady, Rue.
Oh, she is.
She lived with her human for over a decade, but when her human passed away, she was sent to a high kill shelter. She's got a lot of life and a lot of love left to give. Grandma Lucy. Oh. Up next, let's meet Patches. Come on out, Patches. Hi, Patches.
Wow.
This Popic pooch is a 5-year-old Shih Tzu mix who was saved from a high kill shelter. She's from the south side of LA, Rue.
The South Side.
Her hobbies include eating wet food, snuggling, and sniffing her friends' butts. Up next, okay, you're gonna fall in love fast when you meet Bolt. Come on out, Bolt. I love Bolt. Look at this boy. He's a Chihuahua mix. He's about 5 years old. He got a giddy up in his step. Oh! We got a love connection. We do. Let's hear it for Bolt. All right, get ready for this. Wait until you meet Mickey. Mickey, come on out here.
Mickey.
Mickey is an 8-week-old pit bull puppy.
In a dumpster.
Oh
If
my
you can believe
goodness.
this, Mickey was found in a dumpster.
Yeah. Right.
But look at Mickey now. Let's hear it for Mickey, and let's bring out all of our canine contestants one last time. Big round of applause.
We'll bring him out.
Here.
Yes. Gorgeous.
He really is the strength.
my
Is there.
God.
Wow, here, let's stand up. Let's get him up. Maybe we can get the doctor to come out too.
Yeah, Dr. John Sessa, who's my executive director of the Vanderpump Dog Foundation. Where are you?
Come on out. Come on out, Dr. John. Yeah, lovely. All right, now it's time to pick our stray of the day. Okay, what are you guys thinking? All of them? I know the urge.
Grandma Lucy.
Well, this is the thing. I know the urge is to pick the youngest, but I think Grandma Lucy is our slay of the day. Grandma Lucy, take a bow, Grandma Lucy. Yes. Well, thank you guys all for such wonderful work. And if you want to find out how you can adopt any of these cute pups, go to RuPaulShow.com for all the information. Let's give a hand one more time to all of our strays. All right. We'll be right back after this. We'll reveal that makeover too. All right. Come on out here, David. Let's see ya. Now, earlier today, we met David in our audience who wanted to change his look. Now, Alex here is one of his very best friends. And are you excited to see the new David?
I am very, very excited.
I'm excited too. All right, so let's take a look at David before. Oh, look, there he is. Oh, Milli Vanilli in the house.
A lot of volume.
All right, come on out here, David. Let's see ya. Over here, baby. Stand right there, and let's face that camera. Look at you. Oh, my goodness. You look like a movie star.
I feel like I could model now.
Yes, you are modeling. Now, okay, Now, David, how do you feel most importantly?
About 100 pounds lighter. I feel like this is the best I've ever looked.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you looked pretty good before.
Thank you.
You know, but let's sit down. Sit down. Let's talk to you.
All right.
Come and sit over here, baby. You're a beautiful man. Do you know that, right?
Now I feel it.
Well-
yeah.
Because, you know, I'm surprised though, because speaking of surprises, we have a little surprise for you. We have your mom on Skype right now.
What?
Yes. Yes. Well, there she is. Hi, Mama. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
How you going, Sue?
I'm okay. How are you?
We're good. Now, I know that you're watching in Minneapolis on Fox 9 Plus, and we are just happy to have you. Can you see your son?
I think that's him.
Well, he's a beautiful boy.
I will quote Grandma Horn. He's so handsome, he's pretty.
Really? Now, I know that, when was the last time you saw him look like this, Sue?
Oh, my. Let's see. Where did he go? It would have probably been in college.
Really? Had you ever tried to get him to cut his hair?
No, not really. His dad and I have discussed it in private that we would really like him to get his hair.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't doubt that.
What's Dad's name?
Sean.
Sean. And so he gets the curly hair from you.
Uh-huh.
It's gorgeous. Well, thank you so much for surprising your gorgeous son here. We're going to get him booked on an acting job.
Yay. That would be nice.
Thanks, Sue.
Love you, Mom.
You know, it's interesting, you know, David, it's just very interesting how in our lifetimes, we were talking about this with Lisa, how you sort of transform in the course of a lifetime, you find yourself.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're easing up on the idea of just finding your right rhythm?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning into the idea that whatever's happening right now is going to get me to wherever I'm going to be.
That's right. You know what? You get there. I'm gonna terribly quote Eckhart Tolle. You get there by realizing you are already there.
Oh, yeah.
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Yeah. And baby, the fact that you're here, the fact that your mom is there talking to you now, this is a pivotal moment in your life. I hope you realize
Yeah,
that.
I feel it.
What, do you ever wear suits? Do you own a suit?
No, this is easily the nicest thing I own. Clothes or otherwise.
What is wrong with you?
I was jeans, t-shirt, flannel.
Yeah,
I kept it easy.
I tell people all the time, you want to make more money? Wear a suit.
I feel powerful.
Absolutely. Now, David, you are our sleigh of the day, so let's see you take it to the runway. Let's go over and help him, Alex. Come on. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, you go over there. Alex, we'll watch over here. Are y'all ready? Here, let's move over here a little bit more. Okay, David, hit it. Here, let's go on over. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Great now. How beautiful is this man? We'll be right back after this. How gorgeous. Let's walk the runway together. Come on. Now, we love David's Slay of the Day, and I know not everyone can be here in LA, but you can still slay the runway no matter where you are. Send us your videos using the hashtag Slay of the Day, tag RuPaul Show, and you might get a shout out. You might just get a shout out. Now, today's home slay comes to us from the Bronx, or the Brizonks. Yeah, the Brizonks, the Boogie Down.
Brizonks or Boogie Down?
Brizonks,
Whichever.
whichever.
Yeah.
My choice.
Both.
Okay.
What do you
all
choose
right.
today?
I'm going with Brizonks.
All right.
Okay. Right in New York, Romello just got his degree in theater arts and slayed his college graduation. Look at Romello. Yeah.
Reversible.
Gorgeous. Come on, college degree. Work it, grad. How fabulous is that? You know, Lisa and I, we were talking about the concept of navigating your own life and making it work from the inside out. And you better tell somebody. When did you feel the first time you slayed it? Gus, how old were you when you felt like you slayed it?
Probably when you're going down the slopes at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
would do
probably
it.
like the 2014 Olympics. I feel like that was like
Wow,
my like
yeah.
pinnacle slate it moment. Landed my run, got a medal.
Was that, how old were you around that time?
22.
22. Ross, when did you feel like you slayed it?
7th grade, I was Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, and they're still talking about it to this day. No, to this day.
Michelle, when did you slay it?
Well, I came out the womb slaying.
Okay.
But for me, it was raising my daughters to a point where they are self-sufficient on their own, driving and getting to where they're going every day.
I love it.
Safely.
Yes. And at least I don't have to ask you, it was the Poison Arrow video from ABC. So
I think giving birth, I'm thinking creating a perfect creature, I think that's slaying it.
Yeah.
With my eyelashes on.
well,
Come on.
I just feel like today was my first day to slay it. So
Yeah, right.
we're going to be right back after this. I want to thank all my guests today. Now, listen, if you liked our show, tweet about it, text it to your friends, tell your old grandmother about it, and we'll be right back here next time. Thanks for the support, and we hope this is just the beginning of a long, happy, healthy relationship. Bye!